right, moving on. There are different kinds of infidelities and cheating. Kaylee has a very unique proposition for us this morning.
Yeah, this was really, really strange. So this past weekend, I had an appearance, and in the radio world, I was hired or contracted from the radio station to show up at a business and essentially promote that business. Mm-hmm. And what normally happens is there's a remote tech who is the guy that shows up before the talent, and I was the talent that day, and sets everything up. He drives the station vehicle, and then you end up hanging out with that person for a few hours while you're there. In this particular case, he was telling me about this fight he got into with his wife. And it was basically, the question was, is it cheating if he could go back in time, essentially,
so time travel,
or to the future and sleep with his wife, but in different time periods? Would she consider that cheating? And I'm like, dude, that is the stupidest fight to get into. And then I'm like, wait, I've gotten into much dumber fights with my wife.
So he actually said this to his wife.
Oh, yeah, they got in a big fight about it.
Did she ask him? Who brought up this question?
He did.
He did.
Wow. So now, and he did mention that when he was debating this, look, I would sleep with your younger self and your older self, or did he just focus on younger self? Because that could change everything.
I think he probably focused in on the younger self, right. But he might have done a Hail Mary at the end and be like, well, I'll sleep with the older version of you too.
You got to throw that in there.
Yeah, right? But I started thinking to myself, what a dumb debate. Then I'm like, well, is it cheating? Would you?
So he said to her, I would. And is he talking about a time when he knew her or when he did not know her?
He didn't specify that, but...
So you get into your little machine and you time travel back to when...
It got to be a little machine.
maybe it's a big machine.
Okay,
yeah.
You get in your big machine.
I think medium size would actually be better. You don't want it to be
average.
You get in your medium average size machine and you time travel back to when your spouse is 24.
Now, does the guy change age too? Does he become younger, or he is
That's a good question. That's a good question. I didn't even think about that.
For the sake of this not being super creepy, you also go back to that, whatever age you would be in that time. So if you're 2 years older than her, then when you time travel to when she's 24, you're 26. Okay.
All right.
And you sleep with her. Is that cheating?
No.
That's what I was like.
No.
That's not cheating.
Well...
Not at all.
Okay, not at all.
My question is, how are you convincing her to sleep with you? You know what I mean? Are you just showing up to her doorstep and being like, hey, it's your husband from the future. Let's smash.
I don't know. I kind of think it's kind of how you phrase it to your wife currently. Because if you walk in the door and she goes, hey, baby, what did you do today? And you're, I went back in time and gave you the best time of your life.
Yeah.
But it was
she's
still
going to
her.
be like, well, that ain't me now. Well,
the only time to bring a question up like that is if both of you guys are super high.
Yeah.
That is it.
I think it's cheating.
You think it's cheating?
I do.
It's still you and her at just a younger age.
But you're going back to when she didn't know you and you didn't know her. So technically it's a stranger.
You can cheat on somebody by sleeping with that same somebody?
If you go back in time, and you guys were a stranger, you didn't know each other. So you're having sex with a stranger, not with your wife.
It's the sexual matrix.
I want out.
The Bert Show.